So my name is Bryan Gable, and I'm the curator and content producer here at the National Corvette Museum. So right now we are standing in front of a 1968 Corvette that once belonged to astronaut Jim Lovell. Lovell was on a part of the Apollo 8 and Apollo 13 missions, among several others. Part of the second group of astronauts selected by NASA for the space program during the 60s and missions to the moon. So there was a nice established relationship between astronauts and Corvette going back to the early 1960s. That started with Alan Shepard, who was the first American in space, and he was given a 1962 Corvette by General Motors. And that transformed into this official partnership where Jim Rathman, who was a former Indianapolis 500 winner, he also owned a Chevrolet dealership near Cape Canaveral. And General Motors and NASA arranged for this kind of promotional deal where the astronauts could rent a Chevy from Rathman's dealership for $1 each year. And because most of the astronauts were test pilots, had a need for speed and a sense of adventure, most of them chose Corvettes. And it wasn't uncommon to see a lot of the Mercury 7 astronauts, some from the Next 9, that second group that Lovell was a part of, racing their Corvettes in and around the Cape. So the relationship between GM and the astronauts lasted about 10 years. It wound up being discontinued, shortly after some of those first few missions where we successfully landed on the moon. So really, it was really a product of that 1960 space race and getting Corvettes into the hands of these astronauts who were big celebrities and cultural icons at the time. So this Corvette, it's pretty typical of 1968 Corvettes. 1968 was, of course, the first year of the C3, the third generation Corvette. They call it the shark styling, the body style where you have the fender flares that lasted through the 1982 model year. So there's been a lot of work and a lot of research done into where some of the other astronaut Corvettes are today. A lot of them, once they got returned to Jim Rathman's dealership, were just basically resold and weren't necessarily identified as Corvettes that once belonged to an astronaut. There are some other folks out there who have done research. We know where a few of them are today, but not all of them. A lot of the technology that went into Corvette were things that GM was thinking about, well in advance of this relationship that they had with the astronauts. It wasn't necessarily a situation where space or rocket technology went into the Corvette. It was more a situation where GM would look inward and try out some of the new technology that they developed themselves, experiment with new things on the Corvette, since this was such a popular car, such a flagship car for GM and the Chevrolet brand. The partnership that GM had with astronauts and NASA, really the main focus of that was about publicity and having the astronauts, be seen driving around in Corvettes. So we've got a great page on our website right now that talks about the opening of this exhibit. Our marketing team has some great photos of the cars that are on exhibit right now. Also can follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, X. Always lots of great content on there about the exhibits and all the great things that are going on here at the National Corvette Museum.
Support brands that support Classic Motorsports. Get your chemical solutions from CRC Industries. Visit crcindustries.com to learn more. If you like this video and want to see more, make sure to hit that subscribe button and like this video. And to see more stories like this, visit us online at classicmotorsports.com.